We are on a highway, though it's a bit of a different highway, with fewer traffic jams, roadworks and rage. It's the Blue Highway, with waves, seabirds and endless open space. And we are travelling much, much slower. Aboard our sailboat Nakama, we're taking the Blue Highway around Australia while completing our degrees.
Now this is the type of place to do a law degree.
We're currently on the most northern cape, heading towards the Torres Strait. We will then turn west, keeping Australia to our left. Hopefully a bit more wind kicks in as this sun comes up. We are completely secluded from civilization. It's just us, and sometimes Myles, and some small sandy islands with fringing reef. Our tiller is fiberglass together, our autopilot is somewhat reliable, and our mainsail is holding on for dear life. But Nakama is proving to be an absolute ripper in dealing with high winds and large swell. We think it's possible she's the best 34-foot 1989 vessel on the sea.
10.2 knots on Nakama, 1980 something, 34 feet worth of sick radness. We're killing it.
As we said, we are 2 uni students and currently in the middle of a semester. This stretch of coastline is a black hole for internet, so we're having to be on the move every single day. Sightseeing a new destination before picking up anchor once again and continuing north until we get to the next point of reception, the Torres Strait Islands. Last night we had a beautiful flat night's sleep at Stanley Island. And you guessed it, this morning we are picking up anchor. Today's destination is Fife Island, a 60 nautical mile sail. It smells like bird turd. The wind has a couple of personalities today, but it starts off like this. This is episode 15 of season 2, Over the Top. We are literally getting blown at 3 knots. I'm in neutral. We don't have any sail up. We're getting blown at 3 knots. We've been kind of frothing just using the head sail. It's been really windy and the wind has been dead square behind us. And it's just been really easy to manage whenever, so it's been like either dropping down to 16 knots, so then we've had like the full heady out, and then suddenly like 34 knots, which we had yesterday. So like, it's been really good to manage just like with the really up and down wind, like gusty wind. So like, it's been really good, especially for the wind angle we've had.
How's in the time you've been talking, we've just started going so much quicker. Look at this, just since putting out half 80. Just since you said that, we're like, oh, see you, Myles. Can't be losing that.
It's so nice while we're in the lee of the island. The water is dead flat and we've got a beautiful breeze, so we're just gliding across it. Oh my god!
Big, whatever it is.
Oh my god. Do you want me to slow down?
I think it's got up. There was a fish on just then, but that was, whatever it was big.
But
It's no longer on. It's off. Fish activity in the morning. Wind's picked up a little bit now, so we've gone from doing about 5 knots to 6.5, and Soap's downstairs making the Aussie breakfast of champions, which I'm pretty excited for.
Vegemite and cheese! The perfect tummy settler. Slim and I are lucky that we don't get seasick. However, there are certain things we don't feel like when we're out sailing. Fruit and coffee will sometimes cause our stomachs to churn. But it's weird, we can drink coffee before we sail and it's fine. But if it's the early morning while sailing and we haven't yet had a coffee, we don't feel like one at all. Our sailing diet is very much just carbs. We find that it's the only thing we crave. So the perfect on the move brekkie for us is Vegemite on toast, as it's simple, dry and carby.
I think the trick is for us, dry and salty. Like, it's a good first thing to eat in the day. Dry and salty helps keep the stomach dry and salty, I guess. Chill out, girl.
Throw it back or?
I think so. You don't let me get this out, man.
We weren't too sure whether that was a shark mackerel, but anyway, he was a little bit smaller and we wanted to let him live. So we let him go.
The hand reel has always been trusty, eh? You can always trust a $2.50 piece of tin on a hand reel.
So we're just passing what said on the charts was a reef, but actually as we've come up on it, it's a full little sand island with even green shrubbery on it. And not only that, we've actually seen an uncharted sand cay, which is crazy. We've been a little bit hesitant to do night sailing along this stretch of the coast, and that's kind of reaffirmed it, because imagine if you thought that there wasn't a sand island there and then you just run into a sand spit. It's crazy.
Turns out Myles has caught us some lunch and dinner for the next couple of days. I think he's landed a big Spanish.
Alright, so I'm on with 2 fish at the moment. I can see 1 fish in the water there, but I need to pull in one before I pull in the other. So I guess we're gonna see what happens here. Over. Alright, 1 Spanish mac, caught, bleeding, and gutted. Let's find out what the other fish is. Alright, I'm kind of pleased to know the other fish managed to get away in that 20 minutes that I was skull dragging it. I'm very happy for the fish to have gotten away, and also I didn't really want 2 fish, and 1 big Spanish mackerel was enough. Got some bad news. Looks like he didn't get away empty-handed or empty mouth. Managed to take the old skirt with it. Sorry fish. That's gonna make it a trouble to eat from now on. Sorry.
Which makes me suspect that that's what took our last little silver lure. So we got another fish, but it cut the line. Man, it's kind of annoying. Anyway, we're sailing on. Our ETA is gone from about 3 p.m. to about 5 p.m. at this stage, if everything stays how it is. I wouldn't mind a little bit more breeze, but not too much more.
What a day! Myles caught us at approximately 12:27. Now is probably a good time to answer some of your Myles questions. Who is this guy? Is he doing the big lap of Australia with us? Is he solo? What's the go? Let's take it back to the very start when we first met. It was 2020 in Coffs Harbour. Myles pulled in on his newly acquired Beneteau. He bought the boat specifically to sail around Australia solo, and just happened to run into us, who also planned on doing the same trip. We got to know him pretty well alongside the few other young people in the marina. The new sailing season came around and we were heading north. Myles of course planned to do the same. However, we got a head start and didn't see him until he caught up to us in July 2021, after we got held back with broken ankles and surgery. Let me cry into my cheese sandwich. From that point up the coast, we cruised on and off together.
Ladies and gentlemen, he's back.
Until we made it to the Whit Sundays, where we also all decided to spend cyclone season. Fast forward to this year, we are still on the same journey, so that's why you've seen a lot of him with us. We will be sailing together on this stretch of coast until the Torres Strait, and then we'll be going off in our separate ways across the Gulf of Carpentaria and the Northern Territory. Further into the future, I can't say how much we'll be sailing together, as I'm not a fortune teller, but he will most likely, and quite literally, float in and out of videos to come. So yes, he is solo. He also plans to do a lap of Australia, but I'm not too sure how much of it will be with us. And that's Myles. 18 knots again, so we're flying along.
As you can tell by the no longer crashing waves, I'm in the lee of the first bits of this island's fringing reef, and it's so good when you start getting closer and you're like, oh, this might not be like so horrible.
Stanley Island was the last significant island to seek shelter behind. We're now running closely along scattered reef where shifting sands have built and have slowly become an island, like that uncharted sand cave we saw earlier. Birds then have a chance to find home on the new island. They poop and fertilise the ground so shrubbery and a few trees can grow, making islands like this. Because these small land masses are fluid in the way that the sand is constantly shifting, it obviously makes it hard to have any detail on these islands on the charts. We're finding that they simply are marking that there is a reef with the potential of an island. The rest is up to you to use your sight to differentiate what is reef, sand, and deep water. Luckily in the sun, this is fairly easy. We are also using an anchorage guide which shows a satellite image, which also helps us in knowing what to expect. At this anchorage, we're purely relying on the protection of the reef to break any waves. The wind is blowing around 25 knots from here, so we have no land to block the wind. But that's okay, we just hope the reef is significant enough so we're not pitching all night long. So we made it in, but it's very bumpy. It's not as protected as we would have liked. It's still a bit windy. It's not as windy as it was when we came in, but it is still windy. We're not really sure. I think we might even just have a bit of a chill night tonight. We were really hoping to just rush off to shore, but we don't really want to leave the boat. So we might have to have a little chill night, maybe a bit of a movie night and eat some early dinner and go to bed. But yeah. Just come ashore. I'm literally the only person on the island while Simon is going to pick up Myles. It smells like bird turd. That is the biggest thing that's sticking out to me at the moment. It's just, it must be, I mean there were so many birds last night, we tried to capture them for you, but, oh, and we had a booby bird sitting on our bow the whole night. And I was really keen to get a shot for you in the morning, but then when I woke up this morning at sunrise, he was already gone. But he was literally just sitting up there all night on a bow, and like every single time I poked my head out of the hatch, he was still there. So it is a very birdy island, thus it smells like bird turd. What a spot to have your coffee.
Mate, coffee for the beach, I say. Usually people say coffee for the road, but what better way?
Dude, we had a booby bird sleeping on our bow all night.
I scared mine off.
Did you?
So what happened was, I saw it there, like, bird. So I went and started like screaming at it, like shining a light, like slamming my deck. and then all of a sudden it shat, and the wind was blowing the shit right at my face. I had to close the hatch and duck down. And like, if you look at my bow now, there's like shit all the way up to where the window is.
So you shouldn't have scared it. I don't think ours pooped.
Scared it, as Luke said.
There is a life I lead in this city, hurrying to cut my teeth. I can take what I need to get by.
The boys were just having a little cast, but I want to have a go. I'll catch us a big one, don't you worry, babe. Also, how are those sharks?
I know, that was sick.
That's so cool. Catch a shark.
I do not want to catch a shark.
We'll probably get like 2 million views before a shark goes.
Yeah, actually a good pair. So I jokingly do this a lot, but normally just wear them for my beach walk. There's a lot of...
They both, are they like the same size?
They're the same size, and they're kind of mix and match colours, but in a nice way. Anyway, I might actually hang on to these ones. But this island is something, here's another one. This island's something special. There is a lot of thongs here, and most of them are in pretty good nick. But on the other side of the island, there's about 4,000 thongs, but it's crazy.
What was there heaps on the other side?
Oh, I was like, man, this is Thong Island, not calling it Fife Island, I'm calling it Thong Island. Get him, Soph! Catch us some marlin!
We've been keeping our eyes out for a good one of these, but I don't think that one quite cuts the mustard. What I can tell you is that the plastic is getting more and more prominent the further we go north. It's crazy. This is why it smells like bird turd. Look at them all.
Right, I'm going to drop Soph back on the boat, and we're going to get, well, she's going to get the boat ready to push out of here. We're going to leave Myles marooned on the beach. We'll pick him up in a couple of days. I'll be back in a sec to grab him and yeah, get back into sailing. That was a fun little land break though. Anyway, see you in a bit, Myles. See you in a bit.
And that is a wrap. I'm going to leave it there this week. Thank you all for watching. And yes, real-time update. I'm not on the boat, I'm in my family home. I just wanted to say a couple of things. Firstly, it's Christmas next week. So Merry Christmas everyone, I hope you all have a lovely day. Because it's Christmas next week, I'm not too sure with the chaos of everything, and everyone probably understands this, Christmas is a busy time. I'm not too sure whether we're going to be able to get edited and uploaded next week. Our other concern with that is that our upload day will fall on Saturday and Christmas is Sunday, and we're worried that nobody will even watch the thing anyway. So perhaps we might not put an edit out next week, but we'll let you know how we go with that. The other thing we wanted to say is that we are sailing in the Melbourne to Hobart race. Not the Sydney to Hobart, the Melbourne to Hobart. They run basically at the same time, but the Melbourne to Hobart is down the west coast of Tasmania, whereas the Sydney to Hobart is down the east coast of Tasmania. So the next few videos, when the next time we upload, and I can't tell you when that will be, it'll probably be a couple of 2 to 3 weeks due to us sailing that race, will be Christmas and New Year's specials of that race to keep it timely and relevant. So the next couple of episodes will hold off on this trip to then take you a couple of specials of the race, which will be epic. It's the 50th anniversary. There's going to be lots of boats. I don't know what the conditions are. Hopefully they're friendly, but hopefully they're a little bit wild for the content, you know what I mean? So we're going to bring you those specials before we then continue our current journey on Nakama over the top. hope that all makes sense. We'll be making a post about it in our community section on our YouTube channel. So if you haven't heard from us or haven't seen a video, check out the community section on our channel. It's somewhere here, I'll put it on the screen. That's where we post all our updates and whatnot. So we'll post something there about what's going on. We are also going to give our patrons the link to the live tracker. That's where you can track the boats and their positions live while we're racing. So you can get really involved and watch us and watch where we are. So that's going to be posted on Patreon for patrons only. Yeah, I think that's it. I hope that all makes sense. We'll see you soon. It will either be the next episode of this series if we decide to upload next week. However, with Christmas and New Year's and the race, it will probably be 2 to 3 weeks with those specials. Okay. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to subscribe if you made it this far, and we will see you soon.
Alright, so last of my hair's looking pretty good. Ooh, coconut tree! There's only one, but I'm definitely gonna give, well, my drone's hands are pretty minced from the drone, but I'll probably give climbing it a red hot crack if there's any coconuts on it.
All the shrubbery is literally brown. Brown. I've just put my comfy pants on.
I don't have any pants on.
I don't know how I ended up doing this.
Yeah.
Ooh.
But then I went and got my boat hook and started slamming the rail from my window and it ran away.
Rod, hold up. Rod, hold up. You're in the coconut business now,
I'm
Myles.
gonna have a double-masted boat. One's gonna have a mast and one's gonna be a coconut tree. And this is a treasure map.